How do you do? Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
Welcome to the cafe, the Night of the Living podcast. Would you like an espresso?
See? Oh, wait, that's Spanish.
I see you are a visitor from our friends in Spain.
Venti.
Our neighbors, our neighboros.
Pecorino.
Hey, anyway, hey.
Hey,
Listeners. Welcome to the Night of the Living podcast. Your source for all things weird accents that may or may not be okay, but I'm going to do it anyway.
See, Kelly's in his Italian accent is a different region than the one I was doing last week.
Oh, yeah.
We like to bring you different regions to sample.
Yeah.
Kelly's from the heel, Freddy's from the toe.
This is from where you get the crostini.
This is, just imagine that Kelly Ripa, did you see these commercials where Kelly Ripa finds out that she's like 1/4 Italian or something?
No, did she do it 3 and me?
And then she's like, Pantuti!
Patootie.
She's like, Pantuti!
Kelly Ripa, you come down at the cafe the Night of the Living podcast. We're going to give you a tiramisu.
Anyway, so coffee's good today.
Good.
And we're gathered here in friendship.
Love, true love.
And true
Malware.
to bring to you another exciting adventure in audio.
And babysitting.
Yeah, and babysitting. We're babysitting.
Dishes are done, man.
Yeah, and like
Don't tell mom.
Did you? Has it
Or my
ever
mom will shoot.
occurred to anyone that kid was in 2 babysitting movies?
Oh my God, he was. That's
Yeah.
the same kid whose dishes are done.
The dishes are done, man.
Was in Adventures in Babysitting.
Was in love with the babysitter. He don't fuck
I'm
with
in
the
love
babysitter.
with the babysitter. That's why I made the joke, Kelly.
Yeah,
That's exactly why. Just kidding.
Oh,
I'm glad.
Come on.
Oh.
Come on.
Well,
just busting you for Julie.
Oh, you just giving me a little slap on my little eggs. I get it.
Yeah, penne.
That's for you. I'm gonna make us some anacari for you.
Penne with the bolognese.
I think
Bolognese.
the Italian Anti-Defamation League is going to come after you guys for their.
I hope they do. You know what I'm going to say?
I'm so sorry. I just cannot stop doing this voice.
Why don't you just say,
This is just how I talk.
Scoozy?
Scusi.
It's a
Spicy meatball.
Or you could be like Toby Jones in this week's movie and be like, Scoochie, 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 Scoochie.
Do you think that the guy that have you seen the guy that does the voice for Mario?
No.
No.
He's like, you want to see him? Mm-hmm. I'll show you guys later. He's super white.
Oh.
Do you think they have an issue with that? Because he does a real good Italian.
It's a me.
I think most Italian people that I've met in my life are pretty laid back about the ribbing.
Yeah.
However,
I just like the contexting of most of.
How many of you met?
Well, I'm gonna put it like this.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My friends, if you are
If you do not like it when I talk like this, you go on ahead and talk in a crazy Irish or a crazy German accent
Or a white trash voice.
and a white trash voice. I love a white trash voice. It make me so happy, and I will not be mad at you.
White trash
What's the matter, you?
you can talk like this all goddamn day long. I eat this shit up.
That's too much.
Oh,
You dial it back.
you can talk like this shit all day long.
Oh.
I actually did. Do you mind if I give you a brief tangent about accents?
Mm-hmm.
I was doing a voice release yesterday where we came up with a little show where I talk like this, but I am a corporate lawyer, and it's just like we want to do like 10-minute shorts where people don't believe that someone is able to do the things they do because of their ridiculous like.
That's like, remember way back, Chizek? We did that thing with the hillbilly Shakespearean scholars.
Maybe I think
Yeah,
I don't know if
we
I
should
remember. I don't remember that
collaborate.
at all. Yeah,
We can collaborate on something, and then you know what we can do? You know what we can do instead of that?
What?
Let's just eat a bunch of cookies and pizza.
Let's just eat the cookies and pizza.
So,
Doesn't that sound nice?
it does
That
sound
sound
nice.
nice.
Yeah.
I love cookies. I'm a lawyer. Anyway,
About cookie pizza.
A liar.
I'm going to go around and introduce the group that's here with us today. Freddie is here with us today.
Council, have you filed our tax documents for this fiscal year?
I appreciate that you believe that I am a lawyer. I have filed those documents. I have not heard back from the court yet. I'm going to go ahead and file an appeal.
I feel like I would trust you until you said the word appeal. Because that doesn't make sense in the context of what we're doing.
Well, you don't understand the law.
It's not so much how you said it as what you said.
Amy's here.
Hi.
Mikey B is here.
I'm Mikey B.
The spirit of Andy is here. But the flesh of
In the
him
room.
is not here.
I feel his presence.
He's out hunting fantastic beasts.
Ah.
Hunting them?
He's
Ghost of
hunting
Andy.
them.
Was he just knocking because Madame Leota asked?
Knock 3 times.
He's hunting them for sport.
For sport.
And then
sport?
he's going to make a coat out
It's a
of it.
dangerous
That's
game right
terrible.
Fantastic queefs.
101 Griffins is the movie, and
You mean the Griffins and Gargoyles?
there.
So people are up in arms about the giant continuity error in the new movie. Have you heard?
I haven't heard. I haven't heard. I haven't introduced myself. I'm
Yeah.
Kelly. Please go ahead.
Hi, Kelly.
Hello.
Hello, Kelly. How long have you been an alcoholic?
6
6
weeks.
Good.
Since the day he was born.
So McGonagall is teaching in 1923 or whenever the new movie takes place, but she wouldn't have been born for 8 more years.
Oh yeah, McGonagall is old, but she's not that old.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Apparently, they've screwed the pooch.
Gonna
have to reboot.
JKR involved in this?
JK.
She is. Yeah. She wrote it. She messed up.
JK.
Well, did she write? Is that in the book?
There is no book. This is an original screenplay.
We're off.
She
book.
wrote the screenplay.
Oh, I
thought
don't know.
She wrote the first
I know
one.
she consulted on it at least.
There was a book initially,
but you know what?
Oh, yeah, the book really didn't have anything to do with the movie other than it was the book that the character in the movie wrote.
Can't you just say,
If
like,
that helps.
magic? That's it.
it's magic.
It's magic.
You know,
I mean, you have to believe there's magic.
I believe it. I believe in the
No one
magic.
can
in
stand
young
in
girls'
our way.
heart.
I like to cover it up with time travel. That's always my answer.
Magic and time travel.
I like to
Maybe
think.
she disapparated.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
possible that the Starship Enterprise
come on.
did a slingshot around the sun because they had to find
Yeah,
some.
she wrote the screenplay.
whales.
Screenplay and story.
Oh wow,
There it is.
100% on her shoulders.
Well, JK,
I don't think she cares anymore.
You fucked up.
She's like,
Damn it.
shrug, JK,
I'm.
shrug.
She's like, I got $1 billion.
It's built in.
You know, when to talk about that good world building, Kelly Slice, you were so right about that being a good movie.
I'm glad you liked it.
I loved it.
Which
It's
one?
really good.
Slice.
Oh, the pizza movie.
Did you watch it?
Mm-mm.
It's really fun. It's
Yeah.
like a world that
Did
I
you
want
watch
to
it?
revisit.
No,
Yeah, she
I
did.
nap.
I think you'd like it.
Yeah, I think she
Yeah.
would too. It's got Hannibal
nap is
Buress
pretty
in
good,
it,
though.
who
It
she
does.
loves.
It does have Hannibal Buress in it.
He's got a very small part.
It's
But
got Paul Scheer.
Sure.
It's
Sure
just
enough.
fun. Sure
it's got
enough.
Chris Parnell.
Oh, I like
Got
Chris
all those
Parnell.
things.
Dr. Spaceman.
I loved it, Kelly.
Yeah, I'm glad you did.
I'm glad you encouraged me to watch
It
it.
was great.
Hmm.
I had a dream where I was eating a goopy banana.
Like Goopy banana.
Yeah.
Like a Gwyneth Paltrow Goopy banana.
Well, no. I
Different.
imagine that those are like full-on bananas, but in this dream, at one point earlier in the dream, someone had convinced me that it was okay to eat a slightly bad banana, and that in fact they had a different taste, and that it was good. And I believe at one point I did. I remembered in the dream having eaten a slightly bad banana. But then I received this other banana, also a burrito in the dream, but that's different.
Wait, the banana was also a
No.
burrito? Oh, okay.
I also ate a burrito in this.
Yeah.
Well, I received a burrito. I didn't eat it. But I was given this banana, and I opened it, and it was brown. Like it looked like a chocolate banana, but goopy.
He was wearing a dirty red and green banana peel.
Yeah.
And it had smaller bananas for fingers.
We burnt it up. And I took a bite out of it, and it was goopy and wet, and I didn't like it. And I was like, this isn't good. This is not edible, and I will not eat this.
And then you woke up and your goopy banana was gone.
And then we found out that we weren't going to get paid by the job that we all worked for, and they're trying to explain it to us. And then I went on a field trip.
I had the same dream.
Wait,
Cannot remember
you
the
went
last
on a
time I
field
had
trip?
dream.
We went on a field trip. We went on buses.
Who
Yeah.
signed your permission slip?
Well, we were adults,
Oh.
but it was a job field trip.
You can't go on any more job field trips, Kelly.
It's called working off
Mommy
site.
burned the bus up.
Is this a dream?
Is it?
Is it?
It's only a dream.
Is it?
It's only a dream.
Is it? Anyway, that was my dream.
That story was
Okay.
appealing.
Cool.
Thanks. There's a lot more to it, but like people get bored hearing people's dreams. I have a lot of weird dreams, and like not. Can
I
I
have
tell
a
you
dream.
one more tangential story?
Mm-hmm.
So Elise has a Facebook group that she started called Dreamtime,
Mm-hmm.
where people go and put their weird dreams in, and there's. Oh, I shouldn't blow him up. Never mind. But I'll tell you guys later.
Oh.
But
That's
Ooh,
awful, Kelly.
off
That's
book.
Gossip.
Can you change enough of the facts?
I don't know if I can.
NOTLP
He
after
doesn't-
dark.
He doesn't listen to this. We don't give a fuck about him. Anyway, there's a guy who.
You didn't have to say that.
Well, it's true. I can't speak for her.
Okay.
I don't give a fuck.
Oh, Lord, I'm going to have to cut this out.
Do you talk for the trees?
I'll tell you guys about it later. But
Oh, God damn it.
In the forest.
but
People listening right now are squirming, wanting to know what you were going to say.
Or maybe they're squirming, hoping you don't say it.
That
I
could be
have a
too.
lot. I'll just say I have a lot of weird dreams. I remember
do.
a lot of them,
Mhm.
and that's it.
Do you have a dream theory?
Fascinating.
I don't have a dream theory.
You don't think it's unfinished business?
I don't know. I don't say that I couldn't have a dream
Mhm.
theory. I think mine are mostly just like shit that's gone on
Yeah.
over the past week, just getting all jumbled together.
Oh, yeah.
People I've seen on the street whose faces like my memory like stored aside, and then was
Right.
like, oh, we got to get rid of this. I think it's mostly just trying to process shit.
Got to
out.
get rid of this face. Ugh.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Well,
it's like
Kelly.
it's taking up room where more important memories might be stored.
You know
What you're
sucks?
describing is your hippocampus.
Thank you.
Right.
Mhm.
Storing things. And sometimes our brain doesn't know what to do with that extra overflow of storage.
I've been working my ass off, and then I dreamed one night last week that I was working the whole time I was asleep.
Oh, I thought that was that you had no ass.
Those
Yeah.
are
No ass.
those are the worst dreams
He's got
ever
a
to
cute
They
have.
ass.
suck, man. Those are the worst.
I've had those at very stressful jobs where it's like,
Yeah.
and you dream that it's just your job,
Yeah.
and then you wake up and it's like, oh, I've been at work all night, and now I get to go to work all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that feeling. It's
Yeah.
awful.
Golly. I have a dream
Yes,
like that, a repeating dream,
Yeah.
where I'm driving a school bus with no brakes down a
Ooh.
mountain. And then I wake up and I'm like, good, I get worked so many hours of my life already. Now
That's-
it's in my sleep.
yeah, isn't it horrible?
Yeah, it's horrible.
It's really
You
horrible.
know what
feeling.
you should do?
I think that's born
What's
out
that?
of anxiety and stress.
Next time you're in that dream, just drive that bus out into the middle of like a desert,
Yeah.
and then let all the land around it crumble away,
Ah.
and then
He might not have control of that.
You know,
Lucid dreaming.
it's funny, like, what got me into that, actually, the whole dream study or dream analysis a little bit, was I remember reading an interview, I think it was like in Fangoria or something magazine, with Wes Craven, when he was doing the new Nightmare. He was doing
Yeah.
like this whole thing about how to wake up in your dreams. And I've read some books on how to wake up in your dreams. I've got to say, I have done it.
the lucid dreaming.
I have
Is that
The
what you're
lucid
talking about?
dreaming,
Yeah.
but like he talked about that, the whole design for a New Nightmare, whether or not you like the movie or not.
I love New
Yeah.
Nightmare.
Yeah, some people do,
Yeah.
and I need to
That's
realize that.
okay.
That's
And
okay. I love
that's
it.
all right.
I like the pieces of that movie,
Yeah.
but it was super excited about that movie because the whole thing was he was talking about like really waking up his dreams and playing around in that whole idea, and so
Yeah.
like I was doing a little bit of that, and it's every once in a while,
Yeah.
maybe like 2 or 3 times that I've gone, oh, I'm dreaming. Wouldn't it be cool to fly?
In Mike's dreams, he's beautiful
I'm so beautiful.
and bad
And bad.
and bad.
I've engaged in lucid dreaming off and on throughout my life, but never deliberately.
Mhm.
It's always sort of been accidental, where in my dream I realized I was in a dream.
You're
And
dreaming.
once that happened, I could control, to an extent, but I didn't dream for much longer.
Mhm.
Once I realized it, the dream usually
That's always a bummer.
Yeah.
crumbles not long after that.
You ever you're like, I have my own icy machine. With me, it's usually flying though.
Yeah.
I had before I read that, and I remember this, and it's been like through my whole life because I remember how disappointed I was. I dreamed. Remember when Fame was on TV? I dreamed I was one of the kids on Fame.
You're talking about the original Fame?
Yeah, not the movie.
Yeah, the TV series where the batteries fall out of the locker and hit the kid on the head in that episode, and he's concussed, but he has the dream.
Yeah, remember. But I thought that I was there. I was like one of the people on Fame.
One of the
and then I was like, and then I woke up. I'm like, I want to go back.
I've had that too.
Yeah. Did you sit bolt upright in your bed and you're like, I'm gay?
Yeah.
That's how it happens for a lot of people is with the 80s Fame series.
Yeah. That's what happens.
That or Solid Gold.
Solid Gold. That was jerk material for a kid who wasn't even jerking yet. Those costumes were so...
You're a regular Solid Gold dancer.
Tiny. They wore like nothing.
Yeah.
Go do yourselves a favor, listeners and crew. Go Google Solid Gold dancers.
My sister had a poster of the Solid Gold dancers up in her room.
They're wearing nothing. I can't even believe that got on TV. Even at the time.
It was like Saturday morning, too.
As a little kid, I was like, how are they showing this? My boner is real. And then...
It's not a dream.
And then later as an adult, I was like, oh, I'm sure they weren't as skimpy as I thought they were. And I Googled it, and I was like, no, they were.
Yeah.
Whoa. It was amazing.
Did you have a retro boner?
Good for you. Well, I mean, I had an active boner at the time.
Yeah. I mean, like when you Googled it.
Yeah, I had
an
active.
Like, it was retro, though.
It wasn't retro.
Did it come out and it had like a backwards pink ball cap on?
It had
like
that Michael Jackson jacket.
Sunglasses with the slats in them.
Do you guys ever remember like all the television shows where it featured teenagers dancing?
Yeah, like The Grind. Dance Party USA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever have like a casting call for that around this area?
Ooh, I don't recall that we did. I would never have known though because I would not have been asked to be a part of that.
Yeah,
no way.
Yeah.
You would have been scouted at your local Circle K.
I would not have been.
Hey, you flock of seagulls, want to dance?
Yeah, that's exactly how that would have gone. Yeah. And then they'd be like, "Just kidding, we don't want you. You're weird."
They do want weird though.
Yeah.
They just don't like to admit it.
Not that kind of weird.
Well, nowadays we have Riverdale for that.
Oh my God, Riverdale.
Sabrina, y'all.
I know. I gotta.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we gotta jump into that.
Yeah.
Have you watched? Are you guys caught up? Do you watch Riverdale?
Not at all.
I'm season 1 complete, but not season 2.
Show's real dumb.
Yeah.
Right? Stupid, but in a good way. Right? We are season 3?
Yeah.
Season 3 is where I think the stupidity hits a real.
Yeah.
It's rich.
We definitely are considering it because everyone seems to enjoy it. But we definitely are going to watch Sabrina. We just haven't jumped on it yet.
Yeah.
Here's what you get in the latest episode of Riverdale, though: Evil Dungeons and Dragons game. That makes people crazy.
I'm liking this.
That's what the season's about. You have the Archie band.
No spoilers.
Covering Dream Warriors as part of their little party. Their Dungeons and Dragons party. Yeah.
Like Dawkins?
Yeah. They're playing a Dawkins song. It's so cute and weird and funny, and the stuff that these kids get into. Ugh.
Well, it's because the dudes writing this show, I'm sure,
are on a lot of
They all love Dawkins. They all love Dream Warriors. They're like, we can finally do this.
Yeah. It's a fun crew at the Archie Books.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The Archie Books crew.
I found that the first season was a pretty good blend of drama and fun. But so is it getting like...
It's much less serious. As
I like that. Then that makes me want to get more. Because Sabrina is so good.
Yeah, we've only watched part of the first episode of Sabrina.
Oh, okay.
Because we ended up... Something came up. I don't remember what. We had to turn it off.
That show is awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I'm very excited.
I love that actor.
You're teasing me here.
Yeah, no, I'm like I forget when I started it, but like I'm not typically a Netflix and binge kind of guy, but man, I went through like 4 episodes, like pretty darn fast. I think I'm on like the last episode now, but man, I was disappointed because I thought Melissa Joan Hart would be in it. I know nothing about that show.
You got the Blackcoat's daughter instead.
Mm-hmm.
You knew she was going to be a witch. Just look at her.
And Miranda Otto playing the aunt, Aunt Zelda, and she kind of looks like the actress that originally played Aunt Zelda, but she's like the prestige version of that actress.
Yeah,
not that I always thought Aunt Zelda was very attractive, but like Miranda Otto is like a, she's like
I get it.
An Academy,
an
echelon above. I don't know.
She's good.
I'm just saying it's like they tried to homage the original actress.
Yeah.
From the sitcom. Which is nice.
It is nice.
Sometimes I think they dismiss the origin of things.
Agreed.
Yeah. Well, like, I feel like where Riverdale you go, like, man, for a teenage show, this is like a little bit sexier than it should be.
Yeah, it
Like,
only
for-
gets sexier, by the way.
Oh, okay. For Sabrina, you're like, for like a demographic age range show teenager, like, this is a lot scarier than you might think it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I
That's
will
what I
go as
heard.
much to say I get some Buffy vibes.
Oh.
That's all I'm going to say about that. Watch Sabrina. It's real good.
Does Salem crack wise at any point? The cat, or is that strictly the sitcom?
It's Salem is not.
He's
I
not
mean,
a wisecracking
no.
Alf type of character.
He's
No.
alphaless.
No,
I
but
know
there
Alf,
is
and you, sir.
humor in
Yeah.
the show. So yeah, it's kind of scary, y'all. I liked it. I'm
I
digging
can't
it.
wait.
It's really good.
I'm really jazzed now.
There was a episode that just happened that felt like a kind of a one-off. You know, like some of the best Buffys were not really in that
Monster of the Week
storyline.
episode.
Monster of the week, yeah.
There was one that just happened, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so Buffy that it's so Buffy and you don't even know it. You're so Buffy and you don't even
Can
know
make
it."
everybody's
What's your
neck-
damage, Buffy?
Give everybody a neck jerk with some whiplash here, but back to Fame. Did they do a Halloween episode? Does anybody remember?
Ooh,
I don't remember.
Remember?
I'm just gonna put that in
remember? Remember?
Fame.
Can we do another head swing back to you're talking about this is about me and D&D. You're talking about evil D&D game in Archie's. I wanted to tease my novel a little bit
Oh,
because this was not intentional, but I realized, we were talking a few weeks ago about like how adults or certain people said, you shouldn't mess with that stuff about like the occult stuff and role-playing games. I realized that the novel I'm writing, which is a ghost story, that's not spoiling anything. I realized that ultimately the message you could take from my novel is you shouldn't mess with that stuff. Which is not a thing I eschew, but
Yeah.
like
You've betrayed your
Bless you.
values.
thank you.
but maybe your message. I haven't read it yet.
No.
I need to read it. But maybe your message is more that you should take it. There should be a little bit of
It's-
heaviness to it.
It's you should respect what you're doing.
Yeah.
Don't jump into things that you don't know anything about.
Right. I think that's a.
But they do play D&D in my book, and
Things go horribly awry.
well, it's not from the D&D. That's just like a detail.
When you first discovered D&D, I feel like everybody in this table has played a little bit or dabbled in it. Did you really want it to be like more what you heard later was LARPing?
Yeah, kind of. Well, Mazes and Monsters kind of got everybody keyed up when we were kids. You're like, we get to go to the crowd in New York.
I had like 4 or 5 friends over, and I remember like we spent like 4 hours just on character creation.
I wish that had been what I expect.
Yeah.
My brother played D&D. Like that's
Okay.
my introduction was like from like a very, very early age, like 4 or 5, because he was a gamer. So I always knew kind of how it worked.
Yeah.
So that bubble was burst for me long before.
You knew the magic behind it.
Just so you know, there were 6 seasons of Fame.
wow.
I didn't realize that. 136 episodes.
That's a lot of fame.
And I don't believe any one of them was a Halloween episode.
But you know what? If you want fame,
Yeah.
fame costs, and right here is where you start paying in sweat.
That's good shit,
Wow.
Mike. That's good shit.
Remember.
Remember.
Damn, I need to go back and revisit that
That
show.
was good stuff.
Too many
Gene
shows.
like that.
Anthony Ray, remember him?
No.
Mm-mm.
Oh, you remember him.
Remember?
He was the dancing kid with the
Oh,
cornrows.
dancing
Listeners.
Oh yeah.
kid.
So all you had to say was cornrows.
Yeah, he was
Google
awesome.
that. So
Google
you
it.
can Be with us right now.
Yeah, I gonna have to. I think I buried my fame love.
Yeah.
I think I buried it. I need to go dig it back up.
Good shit.
Gotta
That
find
and
out
Kate
where
and
that-
Allie. I
Kate
remember
and Allie.
watching those a lot. I think that were they on close to each other, maybe?
Maybe about the same time. Yeah,
Yeah.
1980. 1982.
Well, I meant like literally, like I thought they might have even been on the same network.
Oh, I don't know about
Like,
that.
Like can't miss Thursdays.
Kate and Allie was a CBS show, I think.
Can't stop Thursday.
I don't know, but I love Kate and Allie.
I do too. I actually went back a few years ago and revisited Kate and Allie.
How's it hold up?
It seemed at the time it seemed like it held up okay.
Yeah, I had a crush on one of the daughters.
Mm-hmm. The tall blonde.
Yeah, the blonde.
It was a
She-
detective show, right?
No.
Yeah, it
No,
was a
that's-
sitcom.
That's
They were
Cagney and Lacey.
divorcees.
that-
Cagney and Lacey was really great too.
Cagney and
That's
Lacey or-
really close.
or,
you can see where I made
Scarecrow
that
and Mrs.
mistake.
King.
Or maybe Rizzoli and Isles. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah.
That's not old.
I
Scarecrow and
know.
Mrs. King. It could be.
That was
Nope, that's
Robert Wagner, right?
No, that's
Oh,
Heart to Heart.
That's Heart to Heart,
Which
yeah.
I also loved as a kid. I had a
Yeah.
humongous crush on Stephanie.
Power?
Yes, thank you.
Wow, Amy.
I loved Heart to Heart for that very reason.
Huh.
Like I was like 4 or 5.
What's Kate and
Kate and Allie is 2 divorced ladies who are friends, move in together and raise their kids single lady style.
Yep.
Jane Curtin of Saturday Night Live and
what's the other one?
And Third Rock from the Sun and Susan St. James.
Susan St. James, thank you.
Who I think briefly was a Charlie's Angel maybe, but she was in that movie with George Hamilton about Dracula, Love at First Bite.
Oh, Love at First Bite.
Which I was just talking to Elise about the other day.
I love that movie. Wasn't that the guy George
Hamilton?
No, I mean the director Benjamin.
Oh, I don't know.
Richard Benjamin, maybe.
Don't know.
All right, I'll find out. You can keep talking.
Oh
my God, we're old.
Married with Children just hit Hulu, y'all.
It did, and King of the Hill.
So I've been revisiting.
It's a great show.
Yeah.
Yeah. How is it?
So I just kind of forgot how just wrong it was, but in such a
Like
loving
not
way.
PC kind of.
Very not.
Yeah,
Like,
I've assumed.
yeah.
Well, it's sort of It's Always Sunny of its time.
Yeah, it was pushing back against everything.
Yeah.
All the changes in society.
Did Al use words like sissy?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what
I feel like I could hear him saying lots of sissy.
Yeah.
No, in fact, I think we just saw that episode last night where
Where
he
he says
called somebody a sissy.
Sissy.
But anyway.
Did he openly make fun of what his neighbor? What was her name?
Marcy.
Wasn't
Marcy
she like?
Darcy.
Was she an out lesbian?
No.
No, I don't think she ever was a lesbian on the show.
She was just a pain in the ass.
Okay.
And when you rewatch it, if you revisit it, she'll probably irritate the shit out of you. Like,
but Amanda Burse is a lesbian.
Yes.
Yeah, in real life. Yeah.
I walked past her coming out of the bathroom as I was going into the bathroom at Horror Hound. So that was exciting.
Did you make some kind of chicken joke?
Chicken legs.
Better chicken legs.
She had great hair in Fright Night.
Yeah, she's great in Fright Night.
She was good in Fright Night. Yeah.
Okay.
Is no jaw McGillicuddy there? Is the one with no jaw?
So we just got the shirts, we got the pins, so those are going to go out
Shirts
soon.
are awesome.
To our patrons.
Yeah, they look good.
They look real good.
Reminder,
Thanks.
patreon.com
Shout out.
is where you go to do stuff and support the show.
It's patreon.com/NOTLP.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You could just go to patreon.com.
I mean, you could.
And you could support some independent comic book artists.
You'll probably find all kinds of things to
Yeah.
get into.
There's tons of stuff.
I think
But
so.
then
Some of it's
focus. Then shiny object. Focus.
Yeah.
And remember to slash that NOTLP, y'all.
Slash it.
You slash NOTLP.
#NOTLP.
Smash and slash.
You get Origins. We just posted the Evil Bong episode,
Oh, we have to listen to that.
which many people
Classics.
consider a classic. I want to thank Alyssa for writing the entry in our episode guide for that, because I used that again this week, because it's such a great take on what happens in the podcast, and it's all written very well.
He's talking to the inside the bong bong.
Inside the Bong Bong. That's there. Night of the Comic. We just released an episode. It was just Jason and I, mostly about Batman, a lot of the recent Batman stuff.
Oh.
Oh,
was
R.I.P. Stan Lee, by the way.
And yeah, we'll probably have something
Pointed at
special
you.
coming up if you're interested, Kelly.
did.
I know you're a fan, right? Were you a Stan Lee fan?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Is everybody
sure.
a Stan Lee fan?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, me too. I loved him.
Did he? I don't feel like he had many enemies.
Oh, people gave
There
him shit
are-
about
you'd be
Jack
surprised.
Kirby
Really?
and
Yeah.
Steve Ditko. Like,
Oh.
they gave him shit, I think, about like co-opting characters that were created by other people and taking credit.
And especially now that he's passed away, maybe it's time to just let that go.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like what? How? Like I just always thought of him as like the sweet grandpa that has so much to do with my childhood. So
And I mean,
I'm choosing not to hear any negativity.
Everybody has things in their life.
Yeah.
Oh
You know,
gosh, yes.
He for whatever he did legitimately write a lot of things and create a lot of things, and so he should be celebrated.
There's
for
a
that.
great documentary about Steve Ditko where it gets into the real details of that. It's not as bad as everybody says.
He didn't murder anybody.
No.
It's can't be a human being without making some choices.
Yeah. It's not as bad as what
We are
was it
not
Bob
perfect,
Kane,
and we are not terrible.
What about? Oh, yeah.
We're
the
mixed.
DC guy who that's another documentary I recommend there.
Which one?
About about the guy who really created Batman and how he was kind of like shoveled under the rug and all this stuff. I can't remember the name of the documentary, but if you Google Batman documentary, you'll probably find it. It's something about you'll see it. It's a recent one.
Okay,
There
let's do
you
it.
go.
By the
Get
way,
out of
why can't Warner Brothers figure out that what they do for the animated Batman movies and by extension other other properties. Why don't they just do that for the live action movies? Because it's always better. We just went and saw Batman Mask of the Phantasm. And
Which is, 15 years old or something now?
at least, like
Yeah.
1993, 1994. It's older than that. It's
So
like
25 years old.
Don't you feel
it's
like
old as dick. And
Yeah.
it was really great.
in some ways, like I know DC comics and movies have been horrible, but like if you go back to Batman, like they're
Burton
kind
Batman?
of responsible. And then the new Batman series, not the new because that's awful, but the old new, the Christopher Nolan stuff.
Yeah, the Christopher Nolan movies. Sure.
Right? Hold up. You're talking about movies, not comics right now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When the Christopher Nolan stuff, like what timeline was that? That was before or after Iron Man?
That was after Iron Man. I think
Okay,
Batman
never
Begins.
mind.
When was Iron
I
Man?
got no theories anymore.
I don't know.
Batman Begins was
not
2006. Batman or Dark Knight was 2008.
Batman Begins was 2005.
Oh, 2005. Sorry.
Iron Man.
Mm.
Yeah, get your shit together, Kelly. Jesus. Was 2008. So actually, Batman Begins was 3 years prior.
And Dark Knight was 2008.
Sure.
We
Dark
lost
Knight
Amy.
was
I'm
2008.
done. I'm done googling.
I
I'm gonna
fell
believe you.
asleep.
Dark
Amy's
Knight was
asleep.
2008.
Point it. The long story short, Stanley
Please.
is dead.
Yeah, Stanley is dead, and we're
that-
sad about it.
Sad
Full
but
life. 95.
95, like seriously, let's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish, okay? Because it's not going to happen.
Me
What
today.
an
Same.
awesome life.
Yeah.
But we'll probably do a whole. I'm sure Night of the Comic. We're going to do a whole tribute to him, and
Yeah.
anyone in this room wants to participate. You're
Cretton
welcome.
loved him.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a huge
So,
fan.
Yeah.
Many of our listeners have met Stanley, and I've never heard a bad word about him. So,
Yeah. I briefly met him.
did you?
Mhm.
I didn't know that.
Briefly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the scenario?
It was an E3, and
Yeah.
he was coming to do. This has been probably 15 years ago, but he was signing for the new Marvel Alliance games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and and I had a friend who was really into all the Marvel stuff, and I said Stan Lee's there, and he's like, I would do anything if you could get a picture and have him sign something, and he's just a super, really nice guy. It was just a brief moment in time, but you just yeah. The only thing I really knew him from, like I knew the comics, but I didn't really like contribute or attribute Stan Lee to those comics. Just knew I loved them it wasn't until like was it Mallrats?
Yeah.
That you're like, who? Oh, so props to Kevin Smith for introducing everybody to the creator of so many things that they loved. And there's actually really good lines in there about like his beliefs on the hero. Which I love.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. Like Kevin Smith really had a handle on, I think, what Stanley was trying to do.
Yeah.
For me, Stanley was always the letters to the editor stuff.
Excelsior.
Yeah, Excelsior and like Make Mine Marvel, all that.
Yeah.
Like just. And then when I finally really could put a face to who he was, he looked like how I imagined
Agree.
him.
Same. Yeah.
Which was really neat.
I would always read the letters in the back of Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yep.
And how many people like never really realized until about halfway through everything they're doing in the Marvel universe that there was always a Stan Lee, sighting in a lot of those movies, and then all of a sudden, like towards the end when you're seeing Avengers, it's now you like have this audible like that, because you see him, you recognize who, and so many times we separate our creators from the created things. So it's always, I think it's cool that Marvel has kept him,
In front and center, yeah.
Front and center.
Yeah, he was their figurehead, really.
Really something really neat. I don't know if you guys heard this or not, but you can go to Netflix and type in the word Excelsior in the search, and they have programmed Netflix to anything in their library that he had anything to do with will come up if you type the word Excelsior into the search bar. It's a lot, and it may surprise you. What's out there.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days? That's weird.
Yeah. Didn't he have a reality show?
Yeah,
wasn't very successful if I remember right.
It was like Search for a Superhero or something like that.
Yeah, it was search. It was like people
It was
came
on
up with a new
Sci-Fi, right?
superhero. They never ever did what I wanted them to do. Whenever I would watch,
Make people jump over buildings, the single bound.
yeah, like when are we get that
DC.
show?
It's called Pile of Dead People.
Whenever I would watch like competition reality shows, I always thought if they had one for comic book artists, I would go on it. And I was like, why don't they have one like where they search for a new comic book artist? I know they do have contests, but like I wish they'd have like a cable reality,
Like a process style show like they do with like Face
Project
Off.
Runway or Face Off
Yeah.
or Top Chef. Yeah,
One
where
of
you get
the
different things you have to do, and
Did you ever watch the San Diego Comic-Con thing that Morgan Spurlock did?
No.
You might want to watch that because there's a couple storylines in there about the process of the comic book artist going to Comic-Con, because at Comic-Con a big part of it is that people spend the entire time there meeting places that they can draw for, and so they bring their portfolios, and there's a couple storylines that are in that kind of track down like what that process is like from.
Oh wow, I didn't even know that was
I would definitely, I think you would like that.
One other thing about Stan Lee, his final film appearance will be in Wreck-It Ralph, or Ralph Breaks the Internet. Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
Yes. I just got a cold chill.
Yeah.
Coming out Wednesday. Great, fantastic, and wonderful. You guys ready to move on?
Are you ready to move on?
I don't know.
Yes, ma'am.
You got a wolf on your shirt.
Put all the head trash away.
Okay.
I do, because I'm a goddamn wolf.
Amy's a wolf mom.
All right, we'll be right back.
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for straight-to-video Russian roulette.
Hi, Freddy.
Hey, guys, straight to video Russian roulette.
Oh,
Are you going to do it in Russian roulette for us? I don't know what accent I was doing.
I don't know either.
This movie was Flight 666.
Uh-oh.
You know you're in trouble, you know?
You should probably change flights.
I don't think they would number a flight.
No.
They
No,
usually
probably
have
not.
more than 3 numbers
They're
anyway.
4.
Yeah, at
It's
least.
taking off from the 13th floor of the airport.
Gate 13.
Oh my god. Rob Palatina, he's the director of this.
Okay.
Just remember that name.
I remember it.
Remember it. Commit it to memory.
I've remembered it.
Because he really knows how to blow it in the middle of a movie. I'm just
So
kidding.
he was going down too.
Actually, this movie has its issues, but I do kind of recommend it because it's a kind of solid concept in a lot of ways. But I'll probably spoil it, but I'll warn you when I get to that. This is about
Take heed.
a flight. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
It appears to be cursed.
Mike, is your Pokeball?
Was that your Pokeball?
Do you
It's
tell
okay.
Are there Pokemon in my room?
Let your Pokeball shine.
There's a Pokeball in here.
How is it?
Did you get the Pokemon?
It's real. I tried to hide it and to make the sound stop, but then I put it under my.
Mike got a Pokemon.
I caught one.
Mike just caught a Pokemon.
If you have the new
my God.
Pokeball, don't hide it under your pants because then it will still.
You'll suffocate your
It's a
Pikachu.
weird-
In case you don't know, Pokemon is a pocket monster.
Sometimes I
right.
forget that's what
Okay,
it means.
I gotta turn it off.
People.
So, Flight 666. Yeah, it's like cursed, you know? So, it starts off pretty promising. It's an airplane full of diverse characters headed LA to New York. So, it's a long red-eye flight at night. A storm is coming in, and for some reason, they'd fly through it instead of trying to deal with that.
They can't
anyway.
get around it. That's the problem.
They say they can't get around it. I don't know why that didn't sink in for me. Couldn't they? They
said it
should've-
a few
They
times.
probably should have made an emergency landing.
No, I agree, but I don't.
Many times.
Yeah.
But there's this young couple that she just met the parents of her new husband, and she's real anxious about whether or not they like her. There is an air marshal on the plane. There is a guy who's clearly off his meds and probably kind of psychotic on the plane, but really he's just has a lot of anxiety, and then there is weird stuff happening, so it makes it look like he's crazy.
Get on your meds.
And this guy reminds me a lot of Alan Tudyk.
I love Alan Tudyk.
me too.
Yeah.
I wish they'd gotten him.
Yeah, this guy's like Alan One Dick, you know?
Freddie made that joke yesterday. I want everybody to know.
Amy's
Don't
my
blow
test
up his
audience.
game. Like that could.
I tested it
No,
on
I
Amy.
want to. I have nothing else in this
He was
world,
workshopping with you.
but He was.
Flight 665 and I'll owe you one. That I just made up. So yeah, there's this pilot who is a ladies' man who finds a lady in every destination. There's his co-pilot.
He owns heart and at least one lovely girl. Sorry, I was trying to sing "Ramblin' Man" and then I forgot the lyrics
So you
as
just
I was
rambled.
singing the lyrics.
Mumbling man.
Mumbling Man. Sorry, sorry, everyone.
So then there's the co-pilot, Jesus. Just kidding. It's not.
Let Jesus take the wheel,
Despite what
and then
his
he crashes the
bumper
plane.
sticker says. Yeah. So
How irresponsible!
am I forgetting anybody? There's the flight attendants, one of whom hosts the Vanderpump Rules after show. If
In
you're
real life.
if you're a fan of that, He's one of the flight attendants in this, so you can see him act.
Oh boy.
He's not bad. He's actually okay. Actually, the acting in this, it's not the actor's fault that this movie gets silly. It just
I think there's a certain amount of charm to the characters. It's fine.
They are taking it seriously.
They are fine.
Which is important. You know, the movie is not a joke.
It's not a joke. Listen,
you know what I
how
mean?
many times do you think the director said that on set every day?
This
is not a joke. Stop. Hey, I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
Listeners can't see me pointing very seriously at the wall, miming.
It's a serious point.
Like a gym teacher or something.
This is where I put in the plus column here.
Yes.
It's an asylum movie that is not just cloning another film.
So
it is not jokey like a Sharknado.
Good.
It takes the subject matter pretty seriously.
The subject matter of Flight 666.
Flight 666.
Yes.
Okay.
Which makes it, in the beginning, feels like it might be a cozy little ghost story, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they keep seeing weird shit on the plane. I forgot to mention, besides the air marshal, there's another meatball on the plane who is like a veteran of some kind. These guys are
we got
meatballs.
some Guido meatballs.
They are like...
They're trying so hard.
They're guys who are full of steroids.
Oh.
Who have,
I've been juicing it before the flight. I want to get it all in there so I'm much stronger when the plane crashes and I can survive.
Yep.
Some of the weird stuff they're seeing is a ghost out through the window of the plane near the wing or whatever.
Oh, you mean like
Twilight Zone,
yeah. Does
But
it do
it's
the same thing?
No, it's like a lady ghost, and she's just wearing a bra and underwear, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah. The Alan Wundick, he's kind of your Will Shatner Twilight Zone guy.
Yeah.
Where he is reacting very big to everything, and everybody's like, he's crazy. So the air marshal ends up zip tying him.
It's a great episode of The Twilight Zone.
It is. And a great segment in the movie.
The gremlin is terrifying. It is a great, in both respects.
Yeah, they're both good.
They're two very different gremlins.
They're very different. We're talking John Lithgow and
whatever the
and
one.
Shatner.
Well, yes.
Lithgow did it in the 80s Twilight Zone movie, which is awesome. Which is the best plain horror. Best plain horror.
Best plain horror.
Yeah. This is, again, at this point.
Can I order my horror, but plain?
Your head stewardess is kind of our most sympathetic character, and you follow her around because she is constantly dealing with all these people who are getting more and more flipped out by what's going on the plane.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the host of Vanderpump Rules After Show is like kind of trying to get out of every difficult situation and just act like he's busy all the time.
That sounds like my strategy. Can I ask you, is the lady flight attendant that you mentioned, is she a single mom that's just trying to get back to her kids?
You don't have any background on her at all, really.
No.
All right.
Which is a shame.
Yeah.
Because you spend everything you learn about these characters, you learn in flight.
In the in-flight magazine?
In the in-flight magazine. Who's on board? That new magazine? Where they profile everybody before they get on board?
Yeah. Who's on board?
There's a great moment where the Alan Wundick freaks out and the lady's like,
It's a terrorist.
and it sounds like they just loop that line of dialogue in. And they're like, okay. He's like, he's not a terrorist. She's like, all right. Everybody get back in their seats.
It's a terrorist.
No,
That's
this is where the movie, like, it starts to build to something, you think, right?
Yeah.
Like, people start seeing stuff and then they will hallucinate being in the cargo hold of the plane. This is where I'm going to start to be a little spoilery. So if you want to watch this, is on Hulu. You can watch it, but I'm going to spoil it in the next couple minutes.
I don't think it's on Hulu, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
And
I thought it was on Prime.
either way, it might be on both.
You're on Prime.
So,
Welcome to Prime Time.
next couple minutes, I'm going to spoil it. The reason they keep hallucinating the cargo hold and these three lady ghosts, because there are three lady ghosts that they hallucinate through.
Brawn panties.
There's brawn panties. There's old one eye.
Old one eye.
And then there is Prego.
Prego. Gotcha.
Okay, who's holding a dead baby. Okay.
She's not Prego anymore,
Everyone's all
then.
caught up. So keep hallucinating the cargo hold, and this stalwart crew of ragtag, two meatballs, married couple, flight attendant, they become detectives, and they figure out that in the cargo hold, which they claim earlier in the movie, they have absolutely no way to access during flight. Remember?
Oh, yeah, I do remember.
Because the guy's like, I need my medicine. It's in the cargo hold. And
At
it's
a
emergency.
certain point, I think I was asleep for this
Yeah,
part.
I think you fell asleep. So they end up in the cargo hold and they find a duffel bag which has all this serial killer's souvenirs in it.
Oh.
And there's all these pictures. And
That's kind of cool.
It's the three lady go. It is cool. It would have been great if it had they spin their wheels a little bit with the cargo hold bit and a lot of the instances in between where they pad the movie out for about 40 minutes, give or take. What it turns out is the pilot, again, spoiler territory. If you just came back in, you can probably skip this movie. It's not great, but you might wanna
Pilot's
watch
the serial killer?
Pilot's a serial killer.
Gotcha.
And he's been killing ladies, and they've come back for revenge. They're not trying to hurt anybody else in the plane, but there's like a tussle with the air marshal, and he ends up, shooting the pilot, and blah blah blah. And they have to make an emergency
Shoot the
landing
hostage.
in real dramatic fashion. They make their emergency landing, and it crashes through the airport. And there's a lot of people, like a lot of acting where their camera is just pointed down the cabin, and you just see people like leaning in their chairs and looking scared, and it's really fun.
Well, I like that concept.
Yeah.
I feel like this would make a great short story.
Like I said, it's a great concept.
Yeah.
There should be more horror movies set on planes. I think that's a really good claustrophobic
It is
play.
super
Yeah, it
claustrophobic.
is.
I do wish they hadn't called it Flight 666.
Yeah.
Because, like, when you give it a dumb title, I'm the kind of person, if I hear a dumb title, the movie could be good. You've opened my eyes to some movies where I was like,
Oh, stupid title.
I'm not going to watch that.
Yeah.
Because it sounds real stupid.
Well, that's what kept me from watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer for 4 years.
Yeah. And I don't know why you do that, titlers. Stop it.
You actually, the thing that you said that would keep me from watching the movie was the 40 minutes where it spins its wheels. That's pretty good turn off for me.
Well, you can fast forward through the middle. I mean, the beginning and the end are interesting. Also, there's a lack of foreshadowing in the beginning of this movie that they really could have established that someone on this plane is a serial killer in the first act. Instead, you don't find that out till the third act. So the movie literally spins its wheels until it reveals why everything's happening. When you had the opportunity, when you're writing a movie like this, reveal that there's a serial killer on the plane in the first act, and then spend the rest of the time letting the audience try to figure out which one of the people it is. At least you can have a little fun with it that way.
Yeah, it becomes the thing.
Yeah.
I just like your retelling of it.
Yeah.
That should be a new podcast that we do. Freddie retells shit movies that might have been good if they'd fixed shit.
Yeah.
Because I would listen to that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like, you describe movies, I'm like, that sounds good. And you're like, it's not good.
Yeah.
But
Fix It Freddy over here.
It's not
fix it.
I'm gonna wreck it. That's Asylum.
yeah.
No, actually, I mean, I have a lot of respect for what Asylum is doing by building coffers, making knockoffs, and then trying to make some original material.
Yeah.
That's a cool business model in a lot of ways. It has a noble end, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And
Noble.
I
do
like
feel-
that noble end.
this is one of the better Asylum movies I've seen.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like tentative about.
It's a good concept. I agree with you on that. I
Yeah.
like that.
I will
I'm
recommend
not
it
going to watch it, but
for
I like
anybody
it.
that roots for underdog horror companies.
I always root for the underdog.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay.
That's all I have to say about that.
Well, thank you, darling.
Life is like a box of chocolates.
Hey, Kelly.
Beer.
I got a movie gun, movie bullet. You ready?
No.
Well, good. Me. I live. Andy. He lives. My baby.
Oh!
Brains everywhere.
Right in the old face.
Dang. Brains everywhere. Not a drop to drink.
So, next regular episode,
2 weeks.
we'll have a review
Mm-hmm.
of Corbin Nash
Oh.
Oh, I want to see Corbin Nash. I didn't know that was out already.
Bangers
on
and Corbin Nash.
Netflix. After discovering that he hails from a long line of demon hunters, Corbin Nash heads to Los Angeles and battles two brutal, bloodthirsty vampires, starring Corey Feldman,
No.
Malcolm McDowell.
Ooh.
But Corey, have you seen the trailer?
Uh-uh.
Corey Feldman is a cross-dressing vampire,
What?
and it looks his part in this looks fucking great.
He's turned into one of those angels.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if it's shit. It might be shit. I don't know, but I will
It
tell you.
sounds horrible, but like I'll watch the trailer.
Watch the trailer because it actually looks like a pretty fun
Trailer doesn't look bad.
action movie.
All right.
So,
I'm in.
The description sounds horrible.
sure.
I mean, just horrible.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it sort of sounds like Blade
Or Angel,
or Angel.
but
It's very
those have
similar.
been- but that's why it sounds horrible.
It's
right?
got some swagger though. Look at the trailer.
Yeah,
and let me know
I'll
what
watch
you
the
think.
trailer.
God damn it, Kelly! Watch the trailer.
I'm gonna watch the trailer.
Oh my God! Stop fighting.
Don't worry, I tried my spaghetti. I'm watching the trailer.
All right.
I'm
Well,
real hungry for a meatball right now.
Right?
Yeah.
Ooh, can I stop you before we go on? I ordered La Rosa's the other day.
Oh, you're gonna make me more hungry.
Look at this. I got a calzone
I got a calzone.
what do you put in
mozzarella.
your calzone?
with meatball,
Mm-hmm.
bacon,
Uh-huh.
jalapeno,
Ooh.
and the 4-cheese blend.
I always do 4-cheese blend and jalapeno,
It was delicious.
but I also
Yeah.
put
Just a question.
just tomato in it.
La Rosa's, you can get a lasagna there, which has ricotta cheese in it,
Uh-huh.
but they don't offer ricotta cheese on anything else in
Oh
the
my
menu.
gosh.
It's probably because it's already frozen between
Yeah.
the noodles.
God, that pisses me off. I want some fucking ricotta cheese on a pizza. I want ricotta cheese in my calzones.
Yeah.
I just
That
want
would-
ricotta cheese on everything.
Ricotta cheese and a calzone would be good. But I do like their meatballs a lot, and they go real good in a calzone.
Mm.
Awesome.
So recommend.
Okay.
That's my recommend
That
for
is.
straight
I
to
like
video
it.
Russian roulette.
Spoiler alert, La Rosa's has good meatballs.
Oh, their meatball hoagies out of this world.
It is out of
Okay.
this world. It is out of this world. Agreed.
We'll be
Ooh,
right
with some banana peppers on it?
Yeah, girl.
This week's main attraction, Patreon member pick from
Oh!
Megan Yamada. I started to say Megan Yamada. Megan Yamada. From 2015, Il Racconto del Racconti. Tale of Tales. Directed by Matteo Garrone. Garrone.
I'm not grown.
Written by Eduardo Albinati, Ugo Chitty.
I love it, you Ugo Chidi.
I want to say these names just because they're fun, right? Like I normally wouldn't read all the writers, but I'm gonna Massimo Gaudicio
Massimo Carisimo.
and Giambattista Basile,
Giambattista
loosely
Basile.
based on the novel by.
Leave it to a listener to choose the one I like the best.
It's so good.
It is so good.
And I've seen this movie twice. I watched it once on an airplane. Don't recommend watching on a small screen. This movie deserves a big screen.
It does. I was thinking about it afterwards even. That's how good this was.
I didn't like it as much as you guys.
Oh.
Left me a bit cold, but I see kind of it's that thing that I had problems with the other movies. It's like, oh, it's super pretty and interesting to look at.
Yeah.
I'm left cold by the actual characters and story.
Well, here's where this differed for me on the others, because I was with you on that train for the other two. But for this one, this to me felt a lot like, I said this on Facebook, it reminds me of Company of Wolves,
Yeah.
but better, because I did not care. Company of Wolves left me cold. Because I felt like there were no emotional stakes. However, this one, I actually did feel the emotional stakes.
Me too. Yeah.
And I was able, because for me, I just looked at it like this is just a straight fairy tale anthology. There's no metaphors to like. There's no real world. It's because I also thought of it a little bit like Pan's Labyrinth, where Pan's Labyrinth is like a direct parallel to the real world of what's going on in Ophelia's life. This is just literally fairy tales. Like it's like we're gonna tell you some Italian fairy tales straight up, and we're just gonna make them look beautiful. And the characters, you feel what you feel for them, or you don't. And I just went with that, and everything made sense. The storytelling did what it was supposed to do for me. And at the end, again, I really felt everyone's, all of the resolutions to me, the ones that were supposed to be impactful were impactful. And I really liked it.
Yeah. It's like what? You got this big kingdom
Yeah.
with 3 smaller kingdoms within it.
Mm-hmm.
And it bounces around between these 3 stories. I think the pacing's really good.
Yeah. And listen, Amy, I'm not going to say
long.
there were moments. It is a long movie, but like it's totally worth. I was 100% in, and there were moments where I would sometimes get confused about who was doing what and for what purpose. But then, like eventually, I was always able to kind of piece it back together. Anyway, you go back ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, like, on a second viewing, too, this movie is better
Yeah,
than it was the first
I'll
time.
probably watch it again. This is really good.
So you have the 3 kingdoms. In one kingdom, you have a king and queen who cannot conceive a child.
Selma Hayek and John
I
C.
love
Reilly.
Selma Hayek.
And John C.
She
Reilly.
is so good in this.
She is so
Yeah,
good.
she's great.
bad.
You can't take your eyes off her when she's.
She's 100% presence, like in pretty much
Yeah.
anything she's in.
Then you have another kingdom where you have father. This is the High Hills.
Toby.
Actually, it has the names of the kingdoms on here. I never even noticed, but Salma Hayek's character is the Queen of the Long Trellis.
De longe trellis.
Then you have the King of the High Hills, Toby Jones, and his really adorable, sweet, innocent daughter.
Toby Jones.
And
Yeah, I
then
love her performance of the song La 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 La.
She
And then
doesn't.
she's mad that nobody's paying attention. I'm like, bitch, all you said was La 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 La.
She's not mad that nobody's paying attention.
People are paying attention.
Everyone's paying attention except for her father,
who she wants to be paying.
He's
I
the
know.
only one she cares about, and he's paying attention to a flea jump from one hand to the other.
I'm being silly. I thought it was a funny song. She's
It
like, I'm gonna
was.
play this. This is my grand performance for everybody. La 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 la.
She's not going to Hollywood, I guess, is what you're saying.
Oh.
Then you have the King of Strongcliff, played by Vincent Cassell, who's really great in this.
Is he never
He's the titty king.
not a poonhound in anything you
know,
have ever
right?
seen him in?
Yeah.
Is
So
Vincent
gross.
Cassell
He is
not?
gross.
Do you think
is
that
there a
stuff
movie
was-
where he's never being creepy?
Well, all that stuff was just happening, and they were like, we can't even, like, we're going to have to shoot around it. And they're like, no, just put costumes on the women, and we'll work it into the story.
Yeah,
somehow.
exactly.
That was his wet cave.
Do you ever
anyway?
real quick? Do you ever wonder how certain actors like get typecast? Like he's like the Oliver Reed of like European like and genre stuff now. Like Oliver Reed was always like the smarmy sex dude in like British movies in like the 60s and 70s. And now it's Vincent Cassell. Like, why is
sex dude?
Why is he always the sex? He's always like rubbing on titties and like his tongue comes out. Even in Black Swan, he like shoves his hand down Natalie Portman's pants. What is Vince?
He's just
He
sex.
is married to Lady Sex, which is Monica Bellucci.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah. Do you think their house just smells like sex?
But in a great way. I'd love to go
Like
to their
a
house.
musky.
I bet for a fee they'd let me watch him.
Yeah. You think for dinner they make a salad, but it's got edible underwear crumpled on top?
Yeah.
Oh.
The
Like it's raspberry
their
vinaigrette.
tiramisu is made with like those like body whipped creams. You sit in the love swing. Those are their seats for their home theater where you just watch porno.
Tonight's
when you go over for
entree.
movie night.
Tonight's entree is fish tacos and phallic ice pops for dessert.
Bananas. It's all bananas.
There's never not a titty in a scene with him.
No, that's
And he's always rubbing on it and like squishing it and like just rubbing his face in it and like he's just like, let me lick your finger.
So let's go back to Long Trellis, right?
Let's go back chronological.
So you go to Long Trellis and they're the king and queen there.
I got a long trellis.
She Salma Hayek, poor Salma Hayek just wants a baby.
She just wants a baby.
All that she wants is a baby. Just one, not even another baby.
Not
She's
even
gone
another one.
tomorrow.
Yep.
She's willing to die just to feel a baby grow inside of her.
Now the king's wizard,
Giant, tall, creepy man.
he says, I can get you a baby.
It's not even
do.
the King's Wizard. This is like a visiting guy.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, because he said like all the others like kept offering them solutions that didn't work. So this is like he's like, we talked to all the others. What can you tell us?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I'm glad that you got that because it had never occurred to me that he wasn't part of their court.
Yeah.
So, he's like, all you got to do, it's very simple. Put on a diving bell, go to the bottom of this enchanted lagoon, kill a sea monster.
A sea monster. He's got to find one.
Yeah. Carve its heart out. It's very simple. Find a virgin to cook it. This is the simplest thing ever. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then you eat the entire heart.
Yep.
And then big bang boom.
You will get pregnant instantly.
Yes. Can real quick we go back? I just want to mention the through line of the sort of like mummer show, or like they seem to. There's like a circus troupe or mummer show that kind of weaves through.
What a great word.
Yeah.
Mummer show.
Oh, I thought you meant weaves.
I like weaves too.
But they sort of like show up a lot, and they're almost kind of like the wraparound.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I didn't even really think about that, but
There really wasn't a wraparound, but yeah, I guess
It was them.
that's them.
Yeah.
do they turn up in all three stories?
I think
Yes.
so.
Yeah, because they turn up at the wedding.
They show up all over the place.
And then they're at the
Yeah.
end with the Anyway, so
That's sharp. This is very Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, they're the first. It really is. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. This
Yeah.
is 100% Neil Gaiman.
Yeah. Very Sandman-y, I guess.
Yeah, it's beautiful too. I can't believe how cheaply this was made.
So, John C. Reilly, the king of, what did we say it was?
Long Trellis.
He, it doesn't go so well, but he does manage to kill the sea monster. Is fucking great.
The effect, all of the creature effects in this. This is what
Yeah.
is so impressive to me. Again, about how relatively little this movie cost to make. According to IMDb, it's 12 million euros, which at the time the exchange was like $13 million. $12 million. That was Scarface came in to just announce that over my shoulder.
That is insanely cheap for what they did.
And all of the creature effects are so real, and like the way they do them, there is like nothing cheesy or fake about them. Like the sea monster looks amazing.
Yeah. The production design from top to bottom, including the set design.
Yeah.
Everything about this movie looks the costumes, all of it's
It looks
perfect.
huge
Yeah.
and just beautiful.
So she said.
So anyway, continue.
Okay. So it doesn't go so well for him because he is slain.
He gets knocked around a bit.
Yeah.
But he does cut the heart out.
Does get the heart. Great scene. The diving bell costume, everything about him walking. I actually felt sorry for the sea monster a little bit because it was just trying to sleep.
It was sleeping. I also love, Elise brought this up too, is like the time, like, you're not given like this happens in medieval time. Because like they have, like the diving bell itself is not something that is specifically medieval.
Right.
Like they're like weird sort
It's
of
like a
anachronistic
fantasy world.
It's super cool, but like not ostentatious. Like
Right.
you just accept it. Like it doesn't, it's like reading a comic book. Like it's really good.
Yeah, it's just great fantasy world building. It's no different than watching like Game of Thrones.
Exactly.
They, and they never say this is Earth and the history of Earth or anything like
This
that.
is a fairy tale. It's
Right,
so
yeah.
good.
Otherwise, I think you'd see a lot of Christian stuff in the movie if it were supposed to be that era on Earth
Right.
or something. But there's no religion in this.
Mm-mm.
So he succeeds in getting the heart and dies in the process. The virgin at the castle, they're like, "You a virgin?
Hey, you a virgin over there?
Come with me." And I told him,
You got your pussy punched?
Would you feel like if someone just came up to you and said, "Are you a virgin?" And
The
then
queen
like,
needs you.
we need you. You're like, I'm being sacrificed. I knew it was going to happen.
Well,
sooner or
I made
later.
this point. If I was the person who had to find a virgin, like I feel like I would make like for some kind of weird magical thing, I feel like I would make real sure. I'd be like, now listen, don't lie to me. It's okay if you're not. I don't care. This isn't I'm not trying to sacrifice you. We're not gonna burn you at the stake for being a whore. But like, if you're not a virgin, if you've had anything in you anywhere other than your own, just be honest. I think I would have made a real big deal.
Yeah.
Out of making 100% sure that this person was comfortable telling me they were a virgin.
Really, if you are a virgin, it's still always in your best interest is to say, no, I'm not a virgin.
It is in your best interest to say no.
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
probably are going to be sacrificed.
Right.
Yeah. If Jennifer's body taught us anything.
Yeah.
Well, it works because both the queen and the virgin end up pregger.
Well, it works like gangbusters.
Yeah. Which is
like
something
9 months in a second.
that the weird old wizard does not tell them
That the
about
virgin
there
will get.
being two babies that will become part of
Well,
this.
did the virgin end up ingesting any of the heart? There was
No.
that scene kind of where she gets real hot.
Excuse you. Sorry. It's right when she finished cooking it.
Yeah.
She started acting strange. So it's just magic. It's magic.
You know.
Oh. Yeah.
Gotta believe there's magic.
All right, cool. So they're both prego with Anderson Coopers.
Yeah.
It's
Or-
Anderson's Cooper.
Anderson's Cooper or Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah. Depending on what color his hair is, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got
Two old men babies.
two
Yeah.
old men babies.
Two twins that are both really good actors.
They were great.
Yeah.
Really great.
The movie kind of switches 16 years later with the boys. And
Yeah.
they have sort of found each other, but Salma Hayek's like, nah.
Yeah. Before we get to the narrative, the beauty of this is you get that little bit, that first bit wrapped up right before the 16-year jump, right? And then you get introduced to the Flea storyline.
No, you get the
right?
Titty King
Or
first.
the Titty King.
Titty King?
Yeah, Titty King first. which
Well,
is
because
the
they wrap it
castle.
up. They show all the characters in the procession.
Yeah, for the
Or the
funeral.
for the funeral
The
for
funeral
King
of-
John C. Reilly.
Yeah, King John C. Reilly. Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah.
King Ralph.
He wrecked it one last. He wrecked it one last time.
Yep.
Oh.
So yeah, you get to see them there, and then 16 years later, the boys have found each other somehow. He's like, nah,
But we're introduced to Titty King.
Titty King's introduction is pretty good. It's right up there with Jack Sparrow's sinking ship.
Yeah.
Because he's in a funeral procession,
Yeah.
and in his limousine, whatever you want to call it,
carriage.
Carriage.
his car,
He's in the middle of
his Fiesta.
a threesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's there's two ladies making out with him. They boobies out, and then he pops up from between one of their legs, wiping his mouth, like, "Are we at the cemetery yet?"
Vincent Cassell is never not fucking.
Yeah.
ABF, motherfucker. Always be fucking is his Glengarry Glen Ross
He's
phrase.
seeking.
Jesus.
Chin greases
Too.
for closers.
God, he is constantly fucking. What is it with that guy?
I'm
He's
sorry.
a sleaze monster.
I made Mikey sick. Yeah.
Yee.
I just don't understand.
Chin
Anyway,
grease.
So that, 16 years later, the boys are friends, and they're, mom's like, no. But
This
then,
is the classic Prince and the Pauper.
it
Yeah.
is, but it's also like I think she's worried too, like that the poor one is
Mhm.
gonna get her little baby boy in trouble or
It's gonna
hurt.
get pour on him.
He's gonna get a bunch of pour all over him.
Oh, that reminds me on the latest episode of The Cool Kids. If you haven't watched this Charlie Day sitcom in the retirement home,
I haven't seen it.
they have Thanksgiving dinner and one of the ladies eats American cheese. They trick her, and the snobby lady eats American cheese. They trick her into it. And she goes, "Am I poor now?"
Anyway,
That
then
made me
we switch. Is this when we switch over to the Titty King, and he's
Yep.
bored with all the titties because they're
There's just
they're
a pile
asleep.
of ladies laying all over the place.
It's not that he's
Right.
bored.
It looks
They're
like
tired.
it looks like the aftermath
Yeah.
of the orgy in Eyes Wide Shut. Like this
Yeah.
is what you imagine it looks like in the morning after.
During cleanup.
Yeah, during cleanup, everybody's just laying around in pools and piles,
Yeah,
and he's like, "I need more.
yeah, he's
I-
insatiable.
I cannot get enough
Yeah.
titty."
yeah,
and he's like wandering around, and he hears a beautiful woman's voice.
One that he hasn't tittied.
Yeah, he's like, this is a new titty
yeah,
that I could
Miss Newton.
Gross.
That I could squish.
I could just be gross
Squish.
around.
Scoochy,
scoochy, scoochy, scoochy.
So he like tries to sends gifts, and then he
Yeah,
comes
there's
over and he's like, "Let me in! It's
It's
time to please your king."
It's a great fairy tale moment where he hears singing from his window, and he looks down into this courtyard, the village where there's this ramshackle building across from where he is, and he just sees her from behind, and it's
They
almost
saw her from above.
yeah, above and behind. So he only
Far
sees like the back of her head.
Right.
It's 2-point perspective.
But her voice
Yeah.
is pretty.
It's very much like straight out of
3-point perspective,
out of
actually.
Snow White or something.
Yeah,
where you think this is this beautiful princess singing, at least in his
Right.
mind. He's like, "I'm gonna go get them titties.
I have
Yeah,
to
yes.
have that.
Gotta get damn titties."
and then we're introduced to the women who live in that shack, and they've been rode hard and hung up wet.
I thought they were lepers for a while.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
They're old and
But I think they're just
dirty.
old.
Because that whole part about licking her finger, I was like, oh, her finger's going to come off or something like that.
Yeah, well, and
but-
then she's looking at it. Like, there's that part where, like, I thought maybe she was trying to do, like, an Elizabeth Bathory thing where she had, like, all this blood in a pot. And I was like, is she trying to make herself, like, young?
Well, the reason that happened was he comes to the door and he's like, I'm your king. I demand to meet you. I love you. You're perfect. Blah,
I wanna
blah, blah.
fuck.
And she promises him, come back in a week and I'll
she's
show
like,
she
you.
hasn't seen, he can't see her.
Right. It's from
Yeah.
the other side of the door. They even, everything they do through a pulley system, so they don't even have to be seen because they're so ashamed of how they look.
Are they lepers?
No.
they're just old.
And then,
Why are they
Are
so
you
ashamed to be
sure?
old?
They're old hags.
Are you sure?
But there have to be other old hags in the village. Like, they seem to think they shouldn't be outside at all.
I think honestly, it's just one of those things where you're talking about people being, this is like that fantasy setting where if you're an old hag, you've lived that long, you're single, you're mistaken as like some sort of witch or something.
And I believe you.
But
That
they-
could be it, but
But you could tell they were pretty people made to look
Yeah,
a
it's-
certain way, like
yeah,
almost
yeah.
like there was some kind of affliction.
That's what I thought. I
Yeah.
didn't
What it
realize
was-
they were
Maybe.
old for the longest
It
time.
was
Yeah.
old age makeup,
But it's
I
more like
think-
discoloration of like I didn't
Their
really feel
skin
like
is
they were
loose.
going for old age because it was more
Yeah.
like their skin was discolored. There
Maybe
was
That's what
a lot
happens when you get old. Have you seen old people?
No,
Mike?
maybe
Here's
it's
the thing.
something from
There's
what they
something
do
really-
for a living.
What
Yeah.
Mike is saying is what I, until later when
Yeah.
they said they were old, I was on the fence. I was like, are they old or are they lepers? What the fuck is?
Did you think Miracle Max was a leper?
No, he was
I-
clearly very old.
But he was
or
also
just an
pretty gross.
affliction because I wasn't sure they were necessarily going for this fairy tale. Didn't seem like they was going for like old is not beautiful, and didn't necessarily feel like it was going like ugly is not beautiful. It felt like there was something wrong, like
medically wrong.
And
medically wrong.
Part of what made me think that too was like how badly the other sister didn't want, because it felt like the one sister was almost going to be like, okay, come in, look at me, fine, and the other was like, no, this can't happen,
right.
and she was just like so overwhelmingly terrified of him seeing them, whereas the other one was kind of like, I don't want him to see us, but
Well, she
What
also
can you
said
do?
we can't let an opportunity like this go.
yeah.
Because she realizes their lives have been pretty awful. They're not going to be around much longer. Maybe this is their last shot at having anything.
Yeah,
And because he brings them a necklace,
right.
which they both seem to like covet. And there's this moment where you're like, oh, is this going to turn into a Smeagol thing?
Yeah.
Mhm.
When really they do love each other, though. And you realize then that they will share, it seems, whatever comes of this.
Is the other one, is there something wrong with her brain?
I think they're just poor, simple,
Well, because again, the one
gross,
the
old,
one that goes
maybe
back,
medically.
and I'm
disastrous.
skipping ahead a little bit.
That's fine.
Yeah. Oh, wait,
But I'm
don't go too far beyond the finger because we haven't explained why she boiled her finger.
I'm
yet.
not. We're coming back to that. But
Trying
like,
to young up her finger.
again, one
Yeah.
of them seems to have a little bit more savvy,
Dora,
we'll say,
Mhm.
and the other one seems to be a little bit like, I don't know what the fuck.
Emma.
Yeah,
I
and
think they got some head problems.
they got some head.
well,
There's a great line, and this doesn't like where somebody says that the one sister shouldn't let the other one out by herself.
Yeah.
And yeah, that sums up that character pretty well. I thought like she seemed,
They're hermits. They're weirdos.
but one of them is less weird.
Yeah, one of them.
more cunning.
I think it's. I don't. They never say this explicitly that she looks like to be the younger sister.
Yeah,
But I from the way the
Or
story,
the less sick.
huh?
Or the less
Or
sick.
the less sick. But I think the way the story plays out, she must be the older sister and is always taking care of the other one.
that's what I got. If they're indeed just
Yeah.
old.
Or caught what the other one had.
Yeah, or caught it, even though there's absolutely no
syphilis.
evidence that other than your overactive imagination.
So they eventually convince the king, okay, I'll come be your
Well,
bed
first the
slave.
finger. Let's get back to the finger.
Yeah,
yeah,
the finger is really important to this story because what happens is she tries to give her finger a beauty treatment because it's the one piece of her body he'll see, and she turns it into a burn-up hot dog.
Yeah.
So she has to put her sister's finger through the hole.
for
That sounds
Vincent
terrible.
Castle
in
to
the
suck
door.
on.
Yeah.
And then he pulls her finger and she starts farting uncontrollably. No. He pulls on her finger. He sucks on her finger. He says, it smells nice."
Predictably. Yeah. Vincent Cassell is the only person is one of the few people I can say would predictably suck on a finger
Yeah.
that was poked out of a finger glory hole in a door.
Yeah, it's also one of the few people who could suck on your finger and your finger would come back browner than it left.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's not nice.
Gross.
All right, so they
It's gross.
they come up with this plan. Dora, the better
Explorer.
sister,
the savvier sister.
Savier,
The
is
other
like,
sister.
I'll come be your
Concubine.
your concubine, but it needs to be in the dark. No candles, no nothing.
I'm going to rock your world with this pussy, though.
So she covers up. Well, first she has to glue her skin down.
Oh,
Which is another reason why I thought they were lepers.
They were trying to tighten it up. They gotta be tight.
I
How do you treat elderly people?
I don't know that you get this flappy.
Well, I'm going. I'm
It's
gonna have
fine.
to go down the rabbit hole because I don't think they were supposed to be old.
Well, they were old. They did mention it later, but I thought there was more to it than
Okay.
just being old.
Will we have settled on this? It's fine. Please stop talking about it.
When her finger, I would agree, her finger looked like a broken hot dog out of a microwave.
But she stuck it in acid. Doesn't matter. So she wanders
Was it
off.
acid?
They have a night of passion.
Mm-hmm.
And Titty King wakes up first, opens the curtain so he can take a look, and realizes he's got a leper old lady in his bed.
Can I tell you, too, what cracks me up about old Poondog here is that he can't even look at somebody who is not beautiful. Like, later on, it's hilarious, his, like, screaming fit when the others...
He doesn't want to be seen by somebody who isn't beautiful either. You notice, like, he grabs the curtain, and he covers himself, and he starts screaming like she walked in on him in the shower.
It's really funny, but it really, again, it adds to that fairy tale feel, that kind of absurd, like I almost felt like I was being told this by, like, my grandma. Yeah. Like, and then the king was so horrified to see the old woman. Like, and well, he throws her out the window. Yeah. Has her thrown out the window.
It's almost like the hot buttered corn joke.
Yeah, exactly like that.
Yeah,
Thank God he threw her out with her sheet, which helps her just kind of like get stuck in the trees so she doesn't die.
That's another great fairy tale touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then an old weird forest witch finds her and breastfeeds her.
That's so fairy tale, though. Amy's like, ooh, why is that happening? I'm like, because this is a fucking fairy tale.
It's a fairy tale.
But I'm still allowed to go, huh?
Something I appreciated in this film is, well, there's like some beautiful grotesque moments, like the skin gluing scene. Like that breastfeeding scene was not as explicit as it could have been. Yes, it was like you knew what was going on, but we didn't see.
It wasn't exploitative or anything.
No, we didn't see nipple to lips. We just saw, we knew what was going on.
And
it makes sense why it would have happened.
In a magical transformation, old leper old lady is turned into a beautiful young woman.
Hot.
And Titty King finds her later and is like, "You will be my queen."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Cool."
So then, meanwhile, we've got Toby Jones and his magical flea friend.
Yeah.
And the flea grows up.
This was sad.
Oh, the flea was so cute.
It was cute.
He makes the little wagon for the flea to draw.
And he basically like beefs up this flea.
Yeah, he keeps feeding it.
Yeah.
Till it's enormous.
Yeah.
And he ignores his daughter for it, basically.
Yeah.
This is like, it's like the classic, I
guys
love my
restoring
dog
the car.
more than I love my family.
Yeah.
Or
I was thinking of the guy with the classic car in the garage. He's always working on it.
Exactly.
Except instead of a car, it's a giant flea that he's feeding beef to.
He loves his flea.
His flea dies because he probably had horrible blocked arteries.
Well, it's not supposed to get that big.
No.
So
I told Amy it's like what my parents did with that Shih Tzu they had, Bo, where they kept feeding him hot dogs.
Till his heart gave out.
And then one day his heart exploded.
That little wheezy dog?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. I mean, like that. I was like, you guys, you know that you just can't keep feeding him hot dogs. They're like, he won't eat anything else.
Well, that's because, okay.
I was like,
because
it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
But anyway, flea dies. It's very sad. But the king comes up with an idea to get his daughter wed.
Well, because she keeps hassling him.
Something out of life.
She's like, I want to get married. He's like, yeah. All right. Let's skin
my flea friend.
All right, I'm gonna skin this flea, and then we'll let anyone in the kingdom come in and guess. You don't have to be of royal birth. You could be an ogre, in fact, and you can come in and guess. And if you guess right, you'll get to marry my daughter. Because who's gonna guess that I had a giant flea?
Was that about like in the? I guess fairy tale. So the idea of the fairy tale for me means that there's going to be some kind of morality tale, or there's going to be some kind of lesson to be learned.
Yeah.
Is that just the king being like, no one is ever going to believe that I raised this flea up to be.
Well, I think the moral of this one is rules are meant to be broken.
Okay.
Because people are more important than rules.
I do, and I
like, yeah. Go
Oh
ahead.
no, you go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, like, his lesson he learns when we get to that later is that
Right,
it's
because-
more important to break the rule than it was to just keep his honor.
And that's great. And what I want to say about this too is like the morals of all three of these, because I was looking for these like big like endings to like really drive home these morals, but it's more subtle than that. Like I feel like they're great fairy tales, but the moral parts are more subtle than just, they don't just clock you over the head. Because at first the endings, you're almost like, well, that didn't even end with like a moral almost.
Because again, my problem with the movie is it's less concerned with the storyline,
but
and more concerned with showing you.
But that's not
something
true.
Interesting.
That's not true. I
They're,
don't
yeah,
think.
You're
they're
not
just
true.
they're so good at hiding what the moral is that I think like I didn't get it until the second time I watched it, that each
because
one had a moral.
There definitely is a resolution, and this is where, like, again, Amy, normally I'm right there with you on feeling like they don't give a fuck about story, but this was, when we were watching it, I was like, this is great. They're actually, and Elise was like, there's actually a story here to all of these, even if you don't know exactly what's going on. I could see where they're going, and it always resolved for me in a, it just didn't clobber me over the head with what I was necessarily expecting.
I think what was, like, when you say subtle, I'm almost wondering if it was more the intent to go that maybe our old fairy tales aren't so black and white, because these are really all three of these fairy tales are based on fairy tales we're all familiar with, but certainly are not the direct, they don't go the direction that some of the fairy tales as we know them would have gone.
Right. And these might even be Italian fairy tale, like actual ones.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It says there was a novel that it was based on, but I wonder if the novel was inspired by any like traditional stuff.
Yeah.
Sure seems like it.
It does.
But like that idea of it was better to honor, like you break the rules over the honor, not necessarily you're going to find, I don't know that you're going to find many fairy tales that are going to match up with something that's that complex of we're not black and white here. There's not somebody being punished for making a poor choice, a poor moral choice. The reality of it is that it isn't black and white. And I think that's where these fairy tales are really using that art is to be that subtle, but also to be like, yeah, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that, it could go this way. It's, the punishment is coming and
I had to think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think it's like almost like the beauty of the movie's a misdirection in a way, like to say, hey, maybe this is a fantasy story and maybe it's a fairy tale, but like you're saying, like, it puts you off guard a little bit. You're not watching Game of Thrones,
Right.
It looks like Game of Thrones,
And you're not watching Cinderella either.
right? But it's somewhere in the middle of those things.
Right.
It's like if you had Cinderella told in the world of Game of Thrones.
It really is very Neil Gaiman. Like that
Yeah.
was a really good comparison.
Yeah.
And I love, like, even like what you just said, like I didn't even get that idea about like the moral being sometimes it's better to not go with the rules, because we'll continue and say, like, so he sets up this competition where if you can guess, anyone in the kingdom, if you can guess what this hide is from, which is from his goddamn giant flea, then you get to marry his daughter. And this giant, they call him an ogre. He just kind of looks like Mars or whatever from The Hills Have Eyes.
He does.
Or he also kind of looks like Dolph Lundgren in makeup. Like for a half second, I was like, is that Dolph Lundgren?
His hands, like I was wondering, like,
yeah,
were they real?
They're
Like that-
Uncle
were they
Jack's
the- were they
hands.
the actors'
He's wearing
hands?
Uncle Jack's big hands.
Yeah, they
Guess
were
who gets it? The
so
ogre.
big.
And then I'm like, well, great, sir. Now your daughter gets to be raped every night for the rest of her life.
And she even, like, she can't believe, he's like, well, I said that this was the rule, so I have to follow this. And she's like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Yeah, I'm going to jump off a castle. Like, I'm going to kill myself.
Because you have to follow the rules. And so I didn't even think about that being the moral, but that's great.
Well, the way it wraps up when we get to it,
Yeah.
it's like when we get to the last part of this story. I'll
Which
save it for
that scene
But, yeah.
what we're going to talk about that wraps this up, that had a lot of emotional heft to me. Like her sort of, well, anyway,
I love that character. The princess in this is so great because you want to protect this character. She is so good at putting that vibe out of
helpless
child vibe where she trusts her father implicitly.
Yeah. And she doesn't, there's a lot of inaction, you think?
Yeah, and she's just it's just sweet and like, you know what I mean? Like she's just not a grown person yet.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, she's got to rely on her father's judgment. He knows the world, she doesn't. And he's finally like, you're going to go out and see the world now. You're going to see it with an ogre.
Well, let's just wrap this story up since
Yeah.
we're here.
Okay,
So
why not?
she goes off with the ogre, and surprise, he rapes her every night. So she finds some people hanging out.
Also,
across
she
the
has
way.
to eat like raw meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And live in a
The
bone
mummers.
cave.
She meets the mummers.
She meets the mummers, and
Was that
they
them?
yes,
Yeah.
I didn't make the connection.
Yeah, they're out there gathering something, and they see
Yeah.
her across the way.
and they decide to help her, and
Yeah.
they help her get across via
The tightrope
Rope.
guy
Oh,
comes and
that's
gets
right.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to poop or something.
But the ogre finds them, escaping, and
There's a real sweet moment that ties
Yeah.
this up at the end too. Anyway, go ahead.
they essentially it becomes a Jason Voorhees sitch,
Yeah.
where they keep thinking they've killed him, but he keeps coming back, and
Yeah,
he
there's this-
chases and kills the whole mummer family.
There's a real great, well, at least the ones that are with her. It's a larger group, but the ones that have rescued her, it's a really great tense scene where they're carrying her across this tightrope, across this chasm, and the fucking ogre is hand over handing it along to get her, and like right at the last second they cut the rope and he drops into the chasm and they get away, and you almost feel like there's going to be a romance between the princess and the mummer boy who has
the little mummer boy.
the little mummer boy Pum-mum-mum-mum. Who carries her across the tightrope, and they're riding back in the wagon, and you think, oh, this is a new thing that's going to be a romance for her, and like you really do feel like there's this little connection, which is where this sweet moment comes in later. And then nope, the ogre just pops up and murders the whole wagon full.
See, I didn't realize they were part of that because the mummers turn up later.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was an extension of that group. That's
Yeah.
so great.
Oh yeah.
Why didn't I piece that together? I'm dumb.
so
You're
she
not dumb.
I'm a dumber.
eventually she kind of makes her ogre husband think she's succumbing to him again.
She makes all of us think that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's this like
she's given up.
Yeah,
'Cause
and-
she has every reason to.
And what was weird, like there was this like weirdly emotional moment where like the ogre's like, get on my back, I'm gonna take you back, and she kind of, like you said, she sort of succumbs and climbs onto his back,
And then
he like
All-Star
rubs her
starts
arm,
playing.
and like you almost feel like I felt like maybe the direction was they're gonna be like, oh, the ogre really loves her or whatever, and she fucking cuts his throat.
And then she cuts his head off.
It was so bad.
Like she comes back to court and she's like, "Hey, Dad, miss me? Here's my fucking husband's head."
And
he's like, "You're finally queen material."
What was so great about that?
Yeah.
Was like just a few minutes earlier, I was bitching about her. Like, look at this. Like, these people have rescued her.
Yeah.
They've helped her, and she's just standing around while they fight this goddamn ogre. She's not even running. She's not even taking the time to run. She's just a little like, I don't know what to do. Meow, meow, meow. And then when she fucking flips it around, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Like,
She has a cunning.
yeah, she's cunning. Like, she had to let all that shit, like, oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Now this where you're hearing, oh, you're ready to be queen now because of this. I saw that as him admitting that he can't be king anymore
Yeah, he
because
fucked
his
up.
judgment is so bad.
Oh, maybe, I don't know.
So
I
he
thought it
lets her
was-
become queen.
Yeah, he's basically saying my daughter's more badass than me, who just
Right.
sit here and
Right. Yeah.
follow the code as opposed to doing some shit.
I just
Right.
overfed a flea.
Yeah.
What am I?
I show poor judgment. I kill my pets by giving them too many hot dogs.
So then back to Titty King.
Yeah.
And his now young, beautiful bride to be.
Mm-hmm.
She invites her sister to come to the engagement party.
Which is a huge fuck up.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Sister can't handle it.
No, it's so sad.
It is, and this is why I thought
like, I
maybe
wanna
there was
stay
something
here
wrong
with
with her
you.
brain. Because she just wasn't getting it.
Yeah.
She just wasn't getting
And
it.
young, beautiful sister's like, dude, you can't stay here. And she's like, but I want to be with you. How can I do this? And she's like, oh, I have an idea. I'll go wander the town and ask men to flay me.
Well, there's a
Well,
reason
no.
that happens, and this is where the moral.
You didn't catch that part though when she was talking to her sister.
yeah, she told her that her skin was. I don't remember.
She
No,
was
she
trying to
said-
shut her up.
She offhandedly said she kept trying to get her to tell her how she became young. She kept telling her, "I don't remember. I don't know how this happened." Because she was unconscious,
Right.
all banged up. And eventually she goes, I had someone flay me.
Like, she's just trying to get her sister
Yeah.
the fuck out.
Yeah. So then she goes wanders the town looking for dudes.
Which, as soon as I heard
Into
her,
that.
say that, I was like, "Oh no,
Yeah.
that's what her sister's going to do. This is going to be the comeuppance here."
Yeah.
And because again, that sister who wouldn't leave the castle, like I said, I feel like she's more simple. Like she's got a simple broken brain. Because even the sister who's now beautiful, there was a part initially when, like, before the wedding or whatever, where I feel like she was telling her, like, I'm going to be able to take care of you, but you're going to have to keep this a secret.
Right. You can't stay in the castle.
But I'm going to help you. But you can't talk about this. And then the other sister
tells everyone.
Immediately tells everyone and can't. And so it's like the beautiful sister's like, well, I'm not giving this up. And she's done fucked up. So get out. And she tells her that I don't know, I got flayed. Okay. It was like almost like a thing where she was like, I know she can't do this. Like, or, you know,
it's just an extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But dummy sister, sorry. But she was.
It's a real stupid move.
She starts trying to pay people.
I love she goes to like a legitimate doctor.
Yeah.
He's like, I want you to flay me. He's like, that's not a good idea.
Yeah, and this is the guy that tells she was like, well, my sister's the queen. And he also, of course, thinks she's crazy. Yeah. So he's like, well, tell her not to let you out on your own anymore, which is good advice.
And then she goes to a back alley flaysman.
Well, yeah, I think he's like a tanner or something, you know. Yeah. And at first he's even like, ugh, I don't know if I want to do that. And
then, but $20 is $20.
Yeah, but she's got that rich stuff. And he's like, well, for rich stuff, I'll flay you. All right.
And then she goes and gets flayed.
And do we just assume that she dies?
Yeah.
Because
you never
like
see her again.
she walks up the step. Well, you see her afterwards.
So
it is really sad.
She franks from Hellraiser through the town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Yeah.
There's a great reaction when she's walking up the steps of like a peasant guy walking down. He's like, whoa! And he like completely detours into an alley as she's passing by.
So I think Freddy's right. I think they're just old.
Yeah.
You mean because when the one sister sees the other one, she says you're young again?
Uh-huh.
Well, she doesn't say your leprosy's cured?
I swear to God, I cannot continue having this argument.
Well, no, look.
I actually went and Google sidebarred. What was wrong with those sisters?
Well, here's the thing.
Like, they're gross.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Says they're gross.
I was straddling both lines.
Is he also old?
I was straddling both lines because they did make mention many times of them being old. Yeah. But I also thought there was just weird shit with their skin. Yeah. So I was like,
you know what happens to your skin when you get old?
Not that.
Oh my God.
You have to glue it to your side so your titties
but I think the idea was that they wanted to use beautiful actresses, or at least that one beautiful actress to play that. They wanted to use these beautiful actresses, and you know, they had to take away their beauty somehow. So it was the age that they could fix back.
Well, I'm glad that we got that.
It's also classic fairy tale
for sure.
The evil queen always wants to turn young again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's the Elizabeth. That's why I thought she was doing an Elizabeth Bathory thing, because it looked like that pot was full of blood.
Mm-hmm.
So meanwhile,
and then she unwrapped her finger, and it wasn't any better.
Back at the Long Trellis Ranch, Salma Hayek doesn't understand that the more you push something, that you
try to keep something from happening,
it's going to happen. So the boys are besties, and she overhears them talking about how they'll just be, they'll share being king. Like, one day you'll be king, the next day I'll be king.
Yeah, well, she tells Anderson Cooper Thing 1, because they do kind of look a little bit like Thing 1 and Thing 2. She tells...
because of the hair.
Yeah, yeah. She tells Thing 1, Elias, she's like, if you guys hang out again, something bad's going to happen. Neither one of you are going to like it.
Yeah.
Intimating that she's going to hurt the other one, but they can't help themselves.
Because they figured out that they can... Even she can't tell the difference, but then they don't figure out that she hears them gloating about that she can't tell the difference.
There is like a moment where you think that she does suspect, because she sniffs him.
Yeah.
And then it's like she can't tell, but she thinks maybe something's fishy. Right. So then she has her
fishy.
She has her little spy hole.
Fishy queen.
So when they've come up with this cool plan where they're going to share being king,
serving doctors sushi and realness.
She follows poor Thing 2.
Yeah.
On his way back home. And she tries to kill him, but he gets away, and he tells, Thing 1, he's like, listen, I can't stay here anymore, but bang, here's a spring, a magical spring I just created out of this tree, and just watch the water, and if I'm good, the water will be good, and if the water's bad, some shit happens. So one day the water is red.
Yeah.
Blood red. So he goes off to find.
This is
thing
also
two.
the spring to me is a real sweet thing where like it's I said it's like kind of checking a friend's Facebook. Like he would like you knew that this kid was going to be checking every day to make sure that his buddy was okay.
His
Like,
brother.
His tree status.
his tree status. And so like she says, it turns red.
He's like, tree's not fun anymore since politics got into it. Oh, this water's good.
Everybody has a tree opinion.
We're gonna make tree what tree was originally meant for.
We gotta get back to our roots.
Oh my gosh.
When you first stabbed the tree,
Mikey.
clean water came out, and your brother left town. And then politics got in.
We should leave this.
I bow down to the pun king.
I do too. My goodness, that was good.
So he wanders off, finds the village where his poor brother is, and they're like, "Oh, you're home," and he's like, where have I been?" And they're like, "Oh, you don't remember?" And he realizes his brother's probably off in the forest somewhere, and he's gonna go try to find him. Turns out he got hurt and he fell in a cave or some shit.
And then Salma Hayek realizes her fuck up.
Yeah.
And talks to the wizard who did the thing in the first place, and he's like, "Well, you got to do it to make this right." And she's like, "I know what I have to do." So she goes off, and then he finds him in this cave, and then there's this huge bat monster, which again, fucking great effects. This is what the bat monster in Graveyard Shift should have been like.
Yeah.
And it chases them through the cave. And they help each other out, and then Ilias kills it. And I think it lets itself be killed. There's like this moment where it has like this look on its face, like this real sad look. Again, very confused at the moment. I was like, why is it doing this? Yeah. Then he kills it. Well, it turns out that was his mother in monster form, and she relented and realized that she had to let go, and that she'd initially even said, "I just want to feel life grow inside of me. I'm happy to die for the privilege." So her whole thing kind of comes to fruition.
Maybe I missed something. Did she become a bat monster because they were together? Is that like triggered? Did that trigger something?
She made another deal because she said to the wizard that she was willing. Already I'm willing to do anything.
Right. Yeah. So he just turned her into the bat monster.
That was my assumption.
Oh, okay.
Or he put her inside the bat monster. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It may have already existed.
I almost feel like I need to watch it a third time just to look for all the other stuff.
Dear God.
Yeah.
Amy's like, no.
Yeah.
But then that resolves, and then we end the movie with Princess Ogre former lover marrying Elias.
I think that was happening. It wasn't real clear.
I think that's what was happening.
Or they were smiling at each other. I don't really know.
I'm not really sure
She was being coronated, I think, or something.
Yeah, she was coronated.
And everybody was there.
Everyone was there. The mummers were there, and it just sort of closed out, and it was really beautiful.
Well, no,
the young one became old again.
The young sister started to become old again.
I forgot that. That was
and ran away.
And again, that was it had some emotional heft for me. Like, because as they're all doing this, all of a sudden she realizes, and she's not just a little bit turning old. Like, she is immediately going
She's melting
back. And she has to run off. And it's just like, ooh. It was like this real good, like, resolution. Like, it was real quick and fast, but it carried a lot of heft.
Yeah.
Hefty.
Yeah.
I loved this movie. I would definitely watch it again.
Yeah.
It was very beautiful.
It was beautiful.
I just love that it was pure fairy tale. Like, there was no, like, they were just like, this is what we're doing, and we're just going to go all out, and we're going to make a 2-hour and 14-minute fucking fairy tale.
Well, they were beautiful. I mean, it was beautiful to look at, but they were beautiful tales just turned on their ear ever so slightly.
Ever so slightly, exactly. Yeah. It was a light touch.
Yeah.
And it was just really well told.
And some people lived happily ever after.
This is like the kind of film where I would say you have to was a little bit restless while I was watching it. It's not a great film for that because you're really going to have to sit in it. Like, you have to kind of saute.
Yeah. You gotta flip them real good.
You gotta flip it and reverse it. Yeah. So it's like one of those films that I would say it's a meaty 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's not the fastest movie in the world, but it can't be because this is a film that you really just have to sit down and kind of pay attention to. So definitely this is like a great Sunday afternoon or sit at home and just kind of relax and settle into it.
It is a really good, we watched it first thing in the morning. Like, it's great with your morning coffee and stuff. Like, if you can just really settle into it and not be on your phone if you can help it.
I watched it after eating all my fried chicken and chocolate mousse
scrambled eggs
in the evening, and it is. There's so much story happening that you're right. You have to, like, they're really telling you a story. Like, it's not like a movie where there's all these tropes where you kind of know that this part where it's going, so you can kind of fuck off for a while and come back to it. Like, it's telling you a story and all the parts go together and it's not predictable and, just pay attention.
Leave me alone.
I wasn't yelling at you.
I know. I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's not good for a plane, as I learned.
Yes. Well, there's a lot of titties on it too. I wouldn't watch it on a plane.
Unless
you're like on the
think I noticed.
window seat and nobody's behind you.
I watched it on the way to
I'm
LA.
DGAF about that. Don't watch over my shoulder. You don't want to see no titties.
Well, kids can't help themselves.
They can. Their parents can help them not do that.
Thank you, Megan, for your choice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Megan. This was an awesome movie. I'm so glad you picked it out for us.
Yeah, if you would like to pick one of our main attractions, just become a member at patreon.com/NOTLP.
Then go and kill a sea monster.
Kill a sea monster, take its heart out, and have a virgin cook it. Anyone at the Mammon, Leviathan, or Beelzebub level gets an entry into the raffle. You get more entries the higher the level. That you're
worth more to us the more you give us.
You get a little more bang for your buck, a little more chance and opportunity.
All right, so there you go. I don't know what I was going to say.
Mm-hmm.
You're all just staring at me. Okay, well, now's the time of the show where we say hi to our Beelzebubs.
Now's the time on Sprockets when we dance.
Welcome back, Jimmy B.
Yeah, welcome back.
Jimmy!
We tease him a lot because we got him on the spot. Welcome back.
Jeremy and Cassie and Gamora.
Aww.
I want to boop her snoot
Sweet.
so hard.
I did
Yeah,
too.
boop that snoot.
They just got a dog. Deadeye.
Deadeye. Can't
Deadeye.
make it to school today. Signed, Deadeye's mother.
Are you doing...
Horseshack.
Oh.
Right? Wasn't it
I
Horseshack?
thought you were doing Detective Pikachu.
He had the letters that were signed.
Yeah.
Horseshack's mother.
Mm-hmm.
This is all Sweat Hog stuff now.
Amanda.
Oh, Amanda, I didn't do my homework last night. I'm going to turn in my homework to Mrs. Amanda.
The computer.
Dale.
Let's meet in the boys' room, Dale. They're having a party. Horseshack's going to be there.
Mandy.
I'm Gabe Kaplan. I'm here to play the role of Mr. Carter for you and your friends to enjoy on Thursday nights. Don't miss it, NBC.
His girlfriend had the biggest glasses.
She did.
They were huge.
Adam.
I'm going to make some vocalizations now, Adam.
Brooke.
Love means never having to hear I'm pregnant.
Ernest.
Carter, these kids couldn't pass a blood test without cheating.
Oh, now he's found actual lines from the
Oh,
show.
yeah.
Man, she's just blowing your spot up left and right,
I'm
bro.
sorry.
She's a turd, huh? Up your nose with a rubber hose.
Albert.
Hello. How are you, Albert?
You're ridiculous. Tree and Alex.
I'm so confused. I'm so confused.
Thank you, Brandon Boone.
Were there any female sweat hogs?
Off my case, toilet face. That was Benny Barbarino.
Yeah,
Bill.
it was. Yeah.
Hi, Bill.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, Bill. Did I ever tell you about my Uncle Max, Bill?
Blake.
Love means never having to hear I'm pregnant again, Blake. Let's get everybody pregnant.
Mark.
I got shoes that made of plywood.
And finally, our dear Elise.
Grease Lightning!
Oh,
Grease lightning.
Then she gonna cream.
Yeah, they're gonna the chicks. They're full of cream.
Oh my lord.
They're gonna get some tit. A pussy wagon. They're gonna cream.
So much cream.
Vincent Cassell in Grease. Vincent Cassell should play Danny Zuko.
And pussy grease.
Yeah. Vincent Cassell should play Danny Zuko. The rest of the cast should still be like young people, but it should just be Vincent Cassell.
Yeah.
In his T-Birds jacket with his long hair. And he should just play him exactly as he plays every part.
She swam by me. I sniffed her finger.
Okay, well, next week will be
Exactly
news
like
and feedback. So if you have anything to say, let us know. Crew at notlp.com.
Leave us a voicemail.
Freddie, what's the
Don't be a
number?
robot.
Our phone number 513-666-0916. If you would like to give me a list of things to say to our Beelzebubs at the end of the show, so I don't have to
help.
so I don't have to go. You got those
We put
big
this-
eyes with the eyebrows that touch the lashes.
Next week we should do bosom buddies. Make you come up
we
with
should.
some bosom buddy quotes.
Yeah.
Oh, ooh, tricky.
That is tricky.
Or tell us something you're thankful for, because Thanksgiving
you
is
go.
coming
Oh
up.
yeah, that's happening too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
what's
thankful for
happening?
this show and all the listeners and everybody in the room and all of my friends around the world.
Oh,
Mm-hmm. I'm thankful for steak.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm hosting our first Thanksgiving here. I'm gonna spatchcock. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
No, I do not want what you're saying.
He told Elsa he was going to spatchcock her.
What's a
Yeah.
spatchcock?
You cut the backbone out of the turkey before you roast it. It's
Ah,
supposed to make a better turkey.
that's spatchcocking?
Flatten it out.
Yeah, you flatten it out, butterfly
Call that a
it.
Saturday night.
Mhm.
Oh,
I can't wait to spatchcock it.
On my computer.
Love means never having to say your turkey's pregnant.
turkey's done.
As far as I'm concerned, that's a good
Turkey
thing.
is done, man.
That's just more turkeys.
Don't fuck
With the turkey.
with the turkey sitter.
All right, thanks so much, guys.
Yeah,
Love
Yeah,
you.
good job listening.
Yeah, this is a long one. An hour
Yeah.
and 45.
Good for yourselves. Give
Yeah.
yourselves a hand.
Yeah, you made it.
And thank you for joining us for the
Did
Italia
it.
month. Yeah.
Ciao.
Spaghetti.
Chirasa.
Frankenstein was wondering if he should go